Hi everyone and welcome to today's General Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. I'm going to calm this filter down real fast. One sec. I kind of look like I'm in a staticky TV and I kind of love it like a lot. And I know the hair is just crazy and I have no control over it. It got in the rain, and when it's in the rain, it's like, nope, I'm just going to just do that. So let's get to today's recap. So it's the next morning. At General Hospital, Jordan comes to see Julian. He got an operation. He has broken bones, ligament tears, internal bleeding. It wasn't pretty, you know? That's what happens when you get hit by a car. So, oh, good. There's something on my screen. I thought like I had something here, but it's just something on my screen. So we're good. So Jordan asks who hit him. He says he remembers going to the bar, but that's really all he has. Bobby is back at General Hospital. She is on staff. There's flowers on the nurse's station for her. They're from Carly, and Carly's there. So she wants a truce about Nell, and Bobby still has a bad feeling about her. You know, she can't, like, she's worried about Carly, you know? And who could blame her? So Carly thinks Nell is better than they were at that age, and, you know, nothing's going to get between them. So Elizabeth comes to check on Julian's vitals. He's really nice to her and talks about the whole Paul situation. He wants to know when he can leave. And she's like, look, you're going to need someone to look after you like all the time when you get home. So maybe you shouldn't be in such a rush. Today is Fun with Filters Day. But seriously, what if my hair was this red? It was at one point. Maybe not this red, but I don't know. I'd do it again. Anyway, at Alexis's place, Alexis opts for coffee. Good job. Molly comes in. She was worried about her since she never came back from Thanksgiving. She never even texted them back. Like, nobody knew where she was. So she asked what she was doing out all night. So Alexis says she underestimated how hard Thanksgiving would be this year. And, you know, she hurriedly tries to clean up the bar and winds up knocking things over. So Molly thinks Julian's trial was rock bottom. Ha ha, ha ha. And that Alexis is due for something good to happen. And I'm like, oh, you have no idea. So someone's at the door. It's Jordan. Of course it is. I was like, I bet that's going to be Jordan. And then it was. And I was like, ha, I was right. Sleeping household. So she wants to talk about Julian. So Alexis is like, well, what's Julian done now? I'm like, good job, Alexis. Someone hit him with a car. And Molly is like, is he dead? Because I hope he's dead. And she's like totally unsympathetic. Not good to do in front of the police commissioner, by the way. Even if the police commissioner could possibly be your future mother-in-law if they get married, because Molly and TJ just seem to always be together, so why not? And Molly says if he's not dead, she hopes he's slowly, painfully dying. And I'm like, that's really un-Molly. So Alexis kind of roundabout asks if they, like, know anything or if there were cameras or this or that, and there's no evidence yet. Molly says, look, I hope you don't find the person, but if you do, I'll raise money for their defense. And I'm like, oh, Molly, like, oh, sweetheart. So Julian apparently has no recollection of the accident. Jordan is concerned that this may be another attempt on his life. Misha is playing with a plastic fork. That wasn't in the episode. That's just what's happening now if you hear a little, you know, that. So, you know, like the car bomb, this may be the same person. So Sunny is a person of interest, but, like, obviously he wouldn't go after Alexis, but, you know, whoever is targeting Sunny, Julian's really public about how much he still loves Alexis, and that could make her a target. So she needs to be careful. Molly wants to take Alexis out for some retail therapy after Jordan leaves, but Alexis doesn't really want to, you know, battle the Black Friday shoppers, and I don't blame her. I didn't do Black Friday this year. Not only because I have all the yarn I could ever want in my life, but it just wasn't that kind of year. And then Julian calls Alexis. At the Quartermains, Hayden is missing and Finn is worried she hasn't slept in her bed, or, you know, she made her bed, because she's there. She was just in the kitchen. Like, she's literally there. So he's headed off to work. She's headed off to work. I can't read today. Hayden wants to head off to work. She's feeling a lot better, and, you know, the hospital needs her, and Finn tells her that she can't go because her test results came back, and she's positive. They both have the same disease. And she doesn't seem phased. She still wants to go to work, and even Tracy tells her to take the day off. Because Tracy is like, Tracy, I don't even know. I don't even know anymore, to be quite honest with you. Tracy likes Hayden. She won't admit it, but she does. So Hayden says she's not going to wait around and die. She has stuff to do. And neither of them buy what Hayden's selling. They don't. She's obviously more upset than she's letting on. And he doesn't have close to enough Z-cholesterol to sustain both of them. At Kelly's, Obrecht and Franco are having breakfast, and he's preoccupied with Tom Baker. So I don't know if I said this on here. I may not have, but for anyone who knows Doctor Who, you already know this, and for anyone who doesn't, Tom Baker is the name of the actor who played the Fourth Doctor, who's most famous for the really long scarf that we have. My mom made one. I was going to make one. It's like a ridiculously long scarf. Anyway, since the character on General Hospital is so bad, I didn't want to, draw that comparison or just bring that up because, but they actually do make a Doctor Who reference on today's General Hospital. So Obrecht asks, so Franco says about Tom Baker, and Obrecht asks what the Fourth Doctor has to do with anything. And Franco's looking at his phone and goes, Doctor Who? And I'm like, I cannot right now. But anyway, he's so preoccupied with his phone because he had the IT make it so he could track Tom Baker's phone and know where he's going in real time. So Obrecht tells Franco to let it go. Let it go. You haven't heard that song since 2013. She's not a fan of Elizabeth, but this is kind of ridiculous. And plus, Elizabeth doesn't even want him going after him, so what's the point? Plus, the man doesn't move. He's been on his couch all day. He's no threat. Me and Tom Baker might have that a little bit in common. Never mind. So, just kidding. I get off my couch. So, he still wants to protect Elizabeth, even if it is outside the law. And Obrecht tells him that he's going to lose the trust he built. And he wants Elizabeth to be safe, even if that means not being with her. And I'm like, I don't know. What is there a right answer here? Probably. So she tells him, look, just don't make the first move. Look, fine, but don't be the one to make the first move. And then you have plausible deniability, or he can send himself back to jail, which Obrecht is the voice of reason and making sense, and is it the end of the world? I think it is, guys. Not gonna lie. Okay, I'm over this filter. 1 second. Alright, we're back where we started, even though we didn't start with this filter. Back at General Hospital, Elizabeth sees Hayden fighting with the vending machine, not pulling a Janice. If you don't know what that means, it means hitting it with your hip, because someone named Janice did that for me once. So she's more shaken up than she let on, and Elizabeth comes up to her, and Hayden starts crying and, hugs her, and I was like, oh my goodness, it really is the end of the world. What is happening? At Sunny's place, I know, this is the whole reason you're watching, and you're like, finally, Carly, why did you save Sunny's place till the end? And it's because I'm a bad person. So Sunny wakes up, Nell's awake, and Sunny asks exactly what happened. So she needs to tell him. So he can't remember anything. And he's been drinking a lot, but he's never blacked out before. And he has a really bad headache. And I was like, that should be your first clue. And your second clue. So he remembers her getting the scotch. And then, that's the last thing he really remembers, which should be your third clue. That's the check marks, in case you didn't realize. What is happening? Oh, it's a lint roller. Wait a second. Who's that? Oh, it's the Schmebs. So she says that she walked him upstairs, put him to bed, and then she gets a little vague, and it's like, well, and then one thing led to another. And then she starts crying, and she says she should have never let this happen. Carly's been so good to her, and how could she ever look at Carly again? Oh, no. So Nell doesn't want Carly to be angry, and she begs Sunny not to say anything, which is interesting. It's like a reverse psychology blackmail type deal. She's crying again, which I think scares Sunny, and it scares me a little bit, because I didn't know if she was, gonna, I don't want to, you know what I mean? So Sunny says Carly won't ever know what happened. And then Carly comes over, because I had to put this in chronological order, which is totally why this came at the end. Nah, just kidding. Still a bad person. So Sunny goes downstairs to meet Carly. Nell does seem legitimately shaken up, because she apologized yesterday. Obviously, he was still he was passed out. But I feel like she really doesn't want to do this. She's being used as a pawn. Like, this isn't her idea. This isn't her master plan. She's being used in some way by someone. Could there be the Oscar Jessup connection here too? Or is it like that letter from your father? I mean, something's happening. Carly wanted to check on Sunny, and she has a question for him. So she asks about Jason's investigation. She wants to know who's responsible. And then she tells Sunny she's going to stop punishing him. That it doesn't honor Morgan to keep punishing him, especially because it's something he didn't do. So she also says she's sorry, and Nell's listening from upstairs and, like, cannot believe what she's hearing. And Carly and Sunny start to reminisce about Morgan on Thanksgiving through the years. So they both kind of keep waiting for Morgan to walk through the door, at different points. And they're both going through the same thing, and maybe they can look after each other. And, like, oh, if only this had happened a few hours ago, right? And now, end scene. So Julian wants Alexis to visit him, and he says, "You owe me that much." So is he covering for her? Does he know she's the one who hit him, and he's just not saying anything? Because he loves her. Tracy will find more Z-Canestrol. Finn doesn't want her risking her company, and he wants to go back to work and find a cure, but obviously not at the lab because he quit before he could be fired, much like Nixon. So Franco kind of becomes self-aware when he's like, oh, there's a predator on the loose, and he's like, wait, is that how people felt about me? And Tom Baker is headed to General Hospital, or is at General Hospital. Hayden catches herself and leaves Elizabeth and is like, bye. Carly notices 2 glasses on the table and asks Sunny who was with him last night. So this should be interesting. Thank you so much for watching today's recap. I will see you tomorrow for more General Hospital, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.